Hi and welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. So welcome to my next video in the watches for less than a tank of gas series. Now, the watch I'm reviewing today is the Casio Duro, which I'm wearing here. Now, this watch is a classic sort of looking diver, but it's got its own Casio sort of style. It's, in my opinion, absolutely stunning value for money, and you can pick this up for around between sort of $40 and $60–$70. I paid about £50–60 for it, I think, so well within budget for the watches for less than a tank of gas. And I really like it. It's a really nice watch. It's not without its faults and issues, but when I look at the negatives of a watch like this, you always have to take into consideration the cost. Right, so the Casio Duro, it's obviously a dive watch. It's water resistant to 200 metres. It's got a screw down crown and a screw down case back. We've got a unidirectional bezel, which actually feels really nice. It's got a lume pip, but we'll talk about lume later. It sits right, everything lines up nicely. The bezel's got a nice feel. It's got like the coin edge to it, so it's nice and grippy, and it's everything works really well. Everything's tactile. It doesn't feel in any way cheap. The bezel is quite nice. It's obviously just an aluminium insert there with silver numbers and things on it. The dial itself is quite plain. There's no numbers on it at all. We've got a little date complication with a little white box around it. The lume pips are nice because they sit on kind of a chrome backing, so you get, when you wear this out during the day, you look at it and you get like light glinting off it. Really nice. I really like the hands. You've got an arrow for the hour hand, nice clean design, and just a sort of a blade for the minute hand. The second hand is really nice. It's sort of half chrome then half red, and it's got a little white triangle on it. Really nice. Obviously it's a quartz, so it doesn't sweep, it's just every second, but that's fine. I haven't got a problem with that at this price. The case itself is really nice, and the crown guards sort of are at the right height to actually protect the crown, and if you run your finger across it, it all feels nice and smooth. There's a little bit of polishing on the side. There's a nice sort of beveled edge to it. There's a little bit of brushing on the top of the lugs. It's just really nice quality. The strap, I have no problems with it at all. It's just a rubber strap. People get upset about these rubber straps, and I find them comfortable, easy to size. You know, I've got no issues with it at all on a watch like this, and if you don't like it, that's something you can obviously change. On the back we've got a picture of a marlin. It says water resist 20 bar. There's the movement number, which is, it says 27, I think that's 84 MDV106, and then it's got Casio Japan movement, cased in China, and then stainless steel. So everything good there. We know it's going to be a reliable piece. We know it's going to run for years. It's been running for a while now. 11:48 and 27 seconds. 11:48, 30, 29:30. Yeah, so I didn't set it absolutely perfectly, but that's still keeping perfect time. So no issues with the quality of the movement or anything. The little marlin is pictured on the front. I say very, very clean design. It's quite a chunky watch. It's a dive watch, so you expect that, but don't think you're going to put this watch on. I've just noticed on the back of the clasp it's a stainless steel china. Yeah, don't think you're going to put this on your wrist and it's going to blend in and you're not going to notice there. These dive watches, when you're wearing them, you know you're wearing them, and they've got this kind of thing where when your hand is at this kind of angle, you feel like the watch is pulling your wrist over a little bit. You get used to it very quickly, but it's just something I want to point out, and that's due to the style of the watch more than anything. It's like when you put on one of these little G-Shocks or like this little Casio Royale, they kind of disappear and you don't hardly know you're wearing them. But this, you definitely know you're wearing it. So that's all great. I really liked the dial. When you first get it, you think, oh, the dial is just plain black, but it has got a sunburst on it effect, so that's really nice. I really like it. I'm just going to do, while I'm doing this, that on the back, I think it's a marlin or a sailfish. I'm not 100% sure which, but I'm just going to take a. I'm just going to show you that. There you go, I hope you can see that. So there's the picture on the back and all the details. Flip it over. There you go. There you go. It's just a nice looking watch. For not a lot of money, and yeah, I know there's hints to the Rolex Submariner and all that, and that's not what this watch is about. I've never seen a Rolex Sub in the flesh. I've seen obviously pictures and videos of one, but I've never seen one. I've never held one, so I can't comment on it. But it's not something I'm ever going to buy unless I win the lottery. So for me, it's not even on my radar. I like dive watches. I like the style. Watches I like are dive watches, chronographs, and I like the old sort of vintage looking Casio LCD watches and the G-Shocks. And that's what I'm kind of buying. So, to me that's just a nice looking watch. It didn't cost a lot of money. You could have it as a beta watch, an everyday watch. It doesn't matter if you scratch it up. It's not got sapphire crystal glass or anything like that, so it is going to be prone to scratches. I'm not someone that scratches my watches a lot because I use the right watch in the light environment. The negatives, well, let's talk about the lume. It's pointless, to be honest. If you stand a light on it for ages, for about 10 or 15 minutes, it looms up really nicely. I'll show you the pictures of it, but it just, the video that I've taken of it, I didn't want to show it just straight after, so I'd left it like 20 seconds, then recorded the video of the lume, and it's already going, and it's gone within minutes. And if you just wear this throughout the day and then look at it at night, there is no lume on it. But to be honest, I've never had a watch with lume that sort of lasts throughout the night, and I don't know how these people do it that are, unless you spend 20 minutes charging it up with some sort of light, I don't know, beforehand. But then I don't want to be doing that. If I've got a watch that I know I'm going to be needing to see it at night and it's kind of critical, I use like a Timex Indiglo or a Casio with a backlight, something like that. I would never rely on lume. It's a nice thing to have and it's an interesting thing, but it's not something I'd ever rely on. So the fact that it's crap, to be fair, on this watch doesn't worry me. In a way, I'd prefer them to actually not bother with it at all. Perhaps reduce the cost even more, make a little bit, the style of the dots a little bit different maybe. When we're talking a negative for a watch that costs about less than 60 quid, it's difficult to actually say that is a real negative. I kind of knew that it wouldn't be any good, so I wasn't expecting it to be any good. So really, it is a negative, but all I'm saying is don't buy this watch for the lume, but then I don't think I'd buy any watch specifically for the lume. So I absolutely love it. I really like it. Interestingly, I've now got the Seiko XKX 009, and I kind of thought when I got that, whenever I get a new watch, I look at it and think, oh, I'm going to wear this all the time. Why would I wear that one now I've got that one? But you do. You kind of look at it and think, actually, no, I'll wear that today. I just like the look of it, depending on what you're wearing and, something, how you're feeling. I'll just get the Seiko out, just as a comparison. The strap feels nicer than the Seiko, but I think the Seiko needs to wear in a bit. I've actually worn this strap in a little bit. Overall, it's a little bit smaller than the Seiko, but it's a bit lighter. Sorry, the Seiko's a bit smaller in diameter, but the Seiko feels a little bit heavier. I haven't weighed them. This is just sort of, how I'm feeling. The Seiko's got a more rounded case. This is more of a flat-sided case. So they're very different watches. And obviously this has got the Pepsi bezel. It's an automatic. The date complication on it doesn't seem to centre perfectly. I mean, it's okay and I can see it absolutely perfectly clear now. But now and again I look at it and I think, it looks like it's slightly too high up, so that might be a little issue there, I don't know, or perhaps just a bit of quality control, don't know, but again, it doesn't bother me not being able to see the date. Whereas on the Seiko, the date is really clear, Sunday 13, but you've got the bigger, obviously, opening because it's day date rather than just date. And yeah, I think whilst they're both dive watches and they do kind of the same thing, they are two completely different looking watches, and I like them both equally. They're both good value. If I had to choose one, it would be the Seiko. I'm not going to lie. If I had to choose one, it's going to be the Seiko. But then the Seiko costs about 3 times as much. So if you're doing this on a budget, and the only way I got this within budget was by buying second hand, whereas this I bought brand new. So it is different, a different look. But if I had to choose one, it would definitely be the Seiko. But because I'm getting a watch collection together that is very budget friendly, I can have the choice. I can have two. So it's really good. So there you go. So that's my initial review. I've worn this quite a bit, this one, and I really do like it. And I just love the second hand for some reason. I don't know why, but the fact that it's half chrome, half red, and then it's got a little triangle on it, it's like a bit. It's like, why did they do that? But it kind of works. So really like it. Definitely recommend this one. I'll put a link in the description to Amazon if you want to purchase one. I would say just go and buy one. You're not going to be disappointed. And if you get it and you are disappointed, with all these watches, make sure you keep the boxes, the warranties, any instructions. What I do is once I've taken the watch out of the box goes up in a drawer, just gets left in there, it doesn't get touched, and then if you decide you want to sell this, you get pretty much most of your money back anyway, so you're not going to lose anything if you buy it. If you've got a really slender wrist and you're worried about a big watch, dive watches are probably not for you anyway, but for most people I think that this watch will be great, and if it's your first diver, it's great. You've got no worries about winding or automatics or anything like that. This battery will last years. I don't know how long, but I know it's a Casio, so it's going to last years, and it's easy to change as well. So there you go. That's my initial review on the Casio Duro. This is GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views, Opinions. I'll see you soon.